and gentlemen, we are back. This is Tuga, almost completely fully loaded. But we're here. We're here to talk about Liga Portugal after round 2 is on the books. And I was so fortunate. I was so humble. I was so lucky to get all 3 games, some of the big 3. So I couldn't miss any of the games. All right, any of the games. And the only thing I missed is the Braga game. By the way, we want to talk about Braga too, because Braga.
Yeah, we got to talk about Braga.
Watch out for Braga, people. They're not joking around this season. Hopefully, they can stay consistent for the entire 34 rounds, and we might have a 4-horse race.
I think so.
This year. We might.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see about that after round 2. I wanted to see the debut of Benfica in the Primera Liga after cruising in those qualifiers. 2-0 the first leg, 2-0 in the second leg, not conceding goals. Their strikers are on the board. The numbers added up, and everything looks in sync for Benfica. But they're taking off. They're not in a full speed yet.
They're not flying. Yeah.
But you can tell that engine. You can tell that engine, brother, is going to run fast. That engine is going to run fast. It's not going 95 miles an hour yet, but they will run. They will hit the gas pedal, and be careful with the Eagles, the almighty Lions. My God, they're just Sporting is ridiculous right now, man. Looking so damn good right now. Lucho is on the board now. What else do you want? Mr. Gomez, are you? Don't answer yet.
I'm not going to answer yet. No.
He's nervous already. He's taking his pills already. Why? You don't need the pills, man. Just throw it out of the window, because you don't need pills to take this season for your team. Yeah. Mr. Ruano, the Dragons went to beat my Milgilistas in Barcelos. It wasn't a stellar performance, but again. And I posted this on X the other day, and I said you combine Vega and Borja Sainz, and they don't make 1 inch of Rodrigo Mora. And then Rodrigo Mora enters the pitch, and in 10 minutes almost scores 2 goals, right? So it's just ridiculous. That guy, why he's on the bench, I have no idea. No idea, people. No idea. Whereas Braga is rolling, the players are fantastic, and we'll see, guys. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Mike Agostino. Welcome, Mauricio Ruano, Mr. Derek Gomez. We're going to kick off with Mikey, because he's here. He's here. He wasn't here last weekend.
Back.
He got the excuse. He was excused because his team didn't play in the Premier League. Busy going WrestleMania, playing tennis, going to the mid. Thank you, Mikey, for being here tonight, brother.
Yeah, of course.
Welcome.
Of course. Yeah, so here we go. Listen, Benfica are still in preseason. I know these games count, but they're still in preseason. And it shows. It was what I expected. Glad we got the goal. By whatever means we got it, I'm glad we got it. Got to be better tomorrow, especially. Tomorrow's huge, facing Jose Mourinho and facing Fenerbahce, a real opponent. And I don't like that we played. That was our one preseason game, was against them. I don't like that we've already played them, and they've had a chance to look at us and to prepare for this. So I'm nervous about that. But yeah, I mean, I do have to say that the pitch was terrible in Amadora. It's been in the press. These pitches, you can't present a pitch like this in a first division that wants to be serious. But that's not the reason Benfica struggled. Benfica struggled because the dynamics aren't there, because I think they were looking ahead. They were looking at Fenerbahce. They were taking Strela for granted a little bit, I think. And Strela were well prepared, and Bruno Lage has zero imagination. And, Nino, you knew exactly who was coming on when you saw who was coming off. And guess what? The Strela team and players did too. I knew it. You knew it. Everybody watching knew what changes Lage was going to make. And then I think Lage made an absolute fool of himself at the end, celebrating that like he had just gone in. And I said on my podcast that it looked like he just went into Madrid and beat like an Atletico Madrid, a team that really locks things down. This was Strela de Amadora. And then he has the nerve to go into the flash interview and say that he's proud of the team, that they were solid, and he told the players, "This is welcome to the Portuguese league." I'm embarrassed for him. I'm embarrassed for him because I think he's starting to believe all this nonsense he says. It's one thing when people BS because they're trying to, protect players. He actually believes what he's saying, which is unthinkable to me. But we go on, and it's match 1 of 34. We don't know where this crazy ride is going, and we don't know what teams are good right now. We don't know what in 10 weeks, the teams we thought were going to be near the top could be at the bottom, and vice versa. So it's hard to judge really what to take out of these first 2 weeks.
A handle on it,
yeah.
Oh, it's freezing. No.
Hey,
okay.
podcast. Look at them.
What I'm doing. What am I doing? I'm here.
If they can comment, they can be in the show.
Guys, you're supposed to be here, right? Heck. Hold on a second. Let me. I think don't mess it up. Maybe I messed up and didn't send the invite. And I don't know. Let me find out. Jesus Lord. You know what? I'm checking, guys. I'm checking. Hold on. Did I? Crap. You see? I messed up, Nino. You messed up, Nino.
Oh no!
Jesus crap.
That's one strike against you. Messed up.
Man, you should, I was saying, where's the second row? Where's the second row? And I forgot to send the invite. Sorry. Hopefully
that's why I asked for my invite tonight.
Mikey knows Nino messes up.
Nino's in preseason too. It's okay.
Yeah, that's all. That's all it is.
This is week 2. I mean, yeah.
It's crazy. Hold on. Is it moving now? Moving? Yeah. Okay. We're moving. All right. They're coming, Andrew. They're coming.
All right.
All right.
Talking about. So we're gonna hold up. All right. We're gonna hold up for Mauricio.
Mauricio becomes the Braga fan now.
Yeah. You've been relegated to Braga, man. I'm sorry. I'd rather talk about Braga. We're lucky you watch all the matches, man.
Richie Horta leading the way. Huh? Talk to me about that Braga, bro. Talk to me about that Braga.
Listen, that first goal by Diego, that's a nasty hit. I know the goalie kind of looked silly on it too, but it was a great goal. Horta, he's going to lead the team. He's just going to lead them. And this new coach, he seems like he has a grasp already on the system and what he wants to play and what he wants to see out of them. He's playing that kind of like Ruben Amorim type 3 in the back with the wing backs moving up, trying to get as much possession as they can. I felt like Alverca was just overwhelmed with Braga and just the presence of a major team coming into their stadium. I thought they were caught off guard right off in the first half. They didn't show up and do really anything. Their goalie wasn't on top of nothing. When you're playing a team like Braga and you're Alverca, you need your goalie and your defense to hold you into that game, at least into the second half, to give you a chance to do something. But Alverca came out in that second half, and they could have made it a game, but Braga they put it out right in the first half, and they just saw it through to the second half all the way through. And this coach really has a good handle on rotating the players already with the Europa League and everything. So he's keeping this team fresh. He's keeping all the guys competitive, and that's what you want right now. You want everybody involved, and you can see that they're really coming together with everything.
Yes, sir. Now, Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Huh? How you feeling, brother? How you feeling? Huh?
We need to dissect this game. And I'm going to use words that you used in the telecast. All right, so Nino, you're going to be part of my discussion. All right, the return. Yes, all right.
Oh, guys, getting the Fuddy-Ollie treatment.
Sweet.
What's up, guys? Sorry for the interruption.
Oh, that's okay.
That's all right. So good.
Yeah.
Go, Derek. Go.
I'll go back to my analysis. But again, I'm going to reference points that you brought up in the telecast. First off, do you remember like minute 17, minute 18, the statistic came up that Sporting had 0 shots. They had taken 0 shots in those first 17 minutes. Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
I know.
Then
I know.
and you had brought that up. And as that first half went on, you did comment on the fact that things were looking stale, that Sporting was moving the ball laterally. There wasn't enough vertical movement. So it's a tale of two games. There's a game before the red card and the penalty, and there's a game after the red card and the penalty.
Yeah.
Up until then, I was much more impressed with Sporting from last week. Remember, Sporting from last week, in the first half, they took 18 shots. Up until the 18th minute, up until the first goal that they scored, they hadn't taken any. And a lot of that had to do with the ineffectiveness of the front three. I think in that first game, they were firing on all cylinders. Good combination, great movement off the ball. They were really in sync. They created opportunities. They looked really good. I think in this game, again, there could be contributing factors. A home opener. In front of all, packed Alvalade, a new Alvalade, a renovated Alvalade. You had, Lucho Suarez in his first home game. So I do think that there were some opening game jitters, and that could partially explain what happened those first 27 minutes. But, to be perfectly honest with you, I wasn't really too happy with what I saw.
Okay.
Too happy with what I saw in those first 27 minutes.
Give me those 4 goals back, brother. I don't want 6. Give me 4 back.
Note that, again, missing Diomande, we replaced him with the Bost. What the Bost has that Diomande doesn't is his ability to play long balls through very precisely.
95% of accuracy.
Yeah. And you're talking 40, 50 yards out. I believe the first goal was because of a long ball from him. That was the only time Sporting was enjoying any success in those first 27 minutes were those long balls, because Gonzalo Ignacio was also an excellent long ball passer. So we were able to score, that goal that sort of fell out of nowhere. One guy who wasn't overcome by the moment was Ricard Mungish. I thought he was fantastic. He scored 2 goals. He looked really good. He made Fresneda look bad, and I think that's part of the reason why, at half they took him out and they put Vangianidis in. Sort of a changing of the guard. They want Vangianidis to be the starter. But then, again, after the penalty and the red card, the game totally changed. You can tell that Aroca had essentially given up. They were not putting up any fight. Sporting were extremely comfortable, and it looked like everything they touched turned to gold. I mean, look at Trincão's goal. He just flicked one in. The second one deflected off Isgaio, I think, Isgaio's brother, I think, and it went in. Yeah, I mean, Lucho Suarez, who really didn't do that much during the game, had the second goal. I think the ball went 100 miles an hour, right under he roofed the net. It just seemed like, every time Sporting went there, they scored. Everything turned to gold. I was impressed with some performances, mainly Ricard Mungish. I thought it looked good. I thought the midfield was positive. But again, I think that Trincão and Potts played better in that first game. I don't think that they were totally in sync. So again, it was a win. I think it was aided by the fact too that Aroca did go in there with the high line. They played with the 4-3-3. They were not defending. They were conceding some space back there, and we took advantage on the long balls. But again, it's another Vasco Seabra. It's the way that he runs things. I remember a few years back, he took Marítimo to the Estádio da Luz and gave up 7. Last year with Estoril, he gave up 5 at the Alvalade. He gives up another 6. It's just, the way that he plays. Sometimes it's more balls than brains. But yeah, I mean, it was at the end, it ended up being a comfortable win. We got 2 wins out of the way. We need to get 3 points next week so we can walk into that Porto game with 9 points.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Mr. Lord Commander, talk to me about your Dragons, brother. Talk to me about your Dragons. I am so impressed with this Porto side, man. I am impressed, man. It's like a day and night. What's this? I forgot the coach's name again. The previous coach, what's his name?
Francesco Farioli.
No, the previous one. I forgot his name. Jesus Lord.
Anselmi.
Oh, Marian Anselmi.
Anselmi.
Oh,
Anselmi. I was like, bro, Anselmi,
Hola,
you were
¿qué tal?
running way too many numbers. Way too many numbers, brother. Way too many numbers in your head. you couldn't translate that into the pitch, into the players, and that's why there was a miscommunication. I think he was speaking Spanish or Polish or Russian. They were not in the same language with the players. And now they're speaking Farioli's language, and this is a massive return from Porto to the big stage. Now they're not in the back seat anymore. That's what I believe. It's going to be a more even fight this season for the Dragons. But please explain yourself about your team, sir.
Yeah, I think he's. I mean, something had to change after the Club World Cup. I actually went to a game down in Atlanta to watch Messi score that free kick against us. I guess that was pretty cool to say that I've seen Messi score a free kick, but it was awful with Martin Anselmi. And to his credit, I mean, Porto was just a complete disaster, just in and out of the locker room as well. And he just tried to throw something in to see if it would change, and it just didn't work out. We made a couple of signings in the offseason that clearly have helped out a lot. And I think just Francesco Farioli just has a different vision. He spent a year at Ajax, so he kind of has an understanding of the situation that Porto was in, because Ajax for a couple of seasons prior, for when he took over, they were struggling for quite a bit. Even though they didn't win the league, they did start to perform better. And you can say that the Dutch league and the Portuguese league are pretty similar. There's like a big three there, and even a fourth club that are pretty much equivalent to Braga. So there's some similarities. He came in with the right approach. A couple of more signings, and I think he could just gel with these players a lot more and get the most out of them. We're seeing a different formation. We're seeing a different intensity, and it seems like he's putting these players, whatever he's doing in training, he's definitely enhancing their strengths and mitigating the weakness. We saw so many times throughout last year, as bad as Porto was, Porto dropped a lot of points because of just fundamental errors in the back. At a couple of times in this game against Gil Vicente, we kind of saw it, but they were able to clean it up. And after, the last 15 minutes of the first half, you saw Gil Vicente really knocking on our door, and we became a little sloppy, but we regrouped. We were a lot more disciplined. We were a lot more in control in the second half. We got that second goal that was so crucial. And that's what it comes down to. It seemed like last year we kept forcing, trying to score. And then there was mistakes that were costing us. We're being a little bit more clinical. Even without Samu, who went down early in the first half, we were able to get that second goal and just kind of get out of Gil Vicente, get out of Barcelos, because for whatever reason, Porto, the last few years, Porto have just kind of like struggled to get out of there with 3 points, or even at times have lost big games. So it was good to just get out of there, because, the way the game was going, it's just, it's Barcelos. You never know what could happen up there. I was much more impressed. I was much more impressed after the first game of the season. Unfortunately, I couldn't come on the show because I was away for work. But that was probably the best performance that I've seen Porto play in about 2 years. Just from the beginning to the end, intensity was back. You saw that the pressing, they were winning almost every 50-50 ball in the middle of the pitch. Guimarães is just a tough opponent. Granted, we were at home, so it's a little bit easier. We usually win against Guimarães at home, but they always make it a fight. And Porto was just in the driver's seat the entire time, and it's been great. And on top of it, no Rodrigo Moura in both of these games-ish. Of course, he came in, and we could talk about that. But when he came in the last 15 minutes, it's like right off the rip, he was just... And he could have scored a goal too.
He's a magician, brother. He's oh, man,
that kid's a magician, man. I hope he does not leave. If it's injuries, if it's him, if Porto already know that he's going to leave and they just want to give these other players a chance or whatever it is, I hope he does stay. I think we actually have a shot at winning the title this year if he does stay. If not, someone's got to step up and fill his shoes, and it's... How can you at this point? Like, he was the life of our attack last year, the life of our team last year, 17 years old. So to lose him, that would be awful.
That'd be awful. Hopefully it's not happening, man. Hopefully it's just it's just for all the decisions or whatever is happening with Porto right now. But when does the transfer window ends or closes? Anybody knows? No, or
I think
Is it the 31st?
I think it's
The
31st.
September 1st.
We're
Yeah.
back to the
Right.
normal
It's the first.
calendar, right?
31st. Hopefully we get to see Harry Potter tricks throughout the season. Mr. Benfica, Mikey,
Mhm.
talk to me about this because I said this during the broadcast. You heard me saying this, right? That potentially, this Enzo Richard Rios could be the best center mids in the nation. How do you see that, brother? Competing with
It's
with the guy
missing a
from
piece.
BRAGA?
It's missing a piece right now. I think it's missing a piece. I don't think the two forward thing is going to work in the long run right now. You're losing a guy in midfield to play with two guys that are they're just getting in each other's way. Essentially, they're making the same runs, one to the right, one slightly to the left. And by playing with two strikers, you really have no striker because nobody's playing in that target space. And you can see both of them lost every ball that they were given. I think we need another guy in midfield with Enzo and with Richard Rios to
play in front of them.
And play in front of them and to link up with the guy in the front. Now it could be one of the two forwards that could drop in and fill that role. That would be fine. The way they're doing it right now, where both of them are just lining up slightly off center and making the same vertical run and making this one falls to the right, one falls to the left, and nobody's at the striker position. That's not really gonna do it. But again, not a lot of teams play with the 4-4-2 like this anymore. So it's going to take time to figure out what they need to do to play together also.
It's a pro over Rios, he said.
Is that what that thing in the middle means?
I guess.
Curious about what that meant.
I'm just guessing, but I think that was his intention. Andrew saying that.
Rios brings certain
over
things
Rios.
that Benfica needed. What I like about him is he brings a little bit of steel, a little bit of gacha, a little bit of fire. And Enzo brings a little what the other Enzo brought. Enzo is so good at receiving the ball and passing it and keeping it. Now, Estrela had a really good plan, and they really kind of canceled him out of the match, and that's why I think you saw Rios going into spaces we hadn't seen in the previous three matches and trying to be that creator. He's not that guy to make the first pass. Rios is more of a guy.
12 fouls on Rios.
Yeah, that's fine. We need to commit fouls sometimes. If we had Rios in the cup final last year, we would have won the cup final because the ball would have never made it to the end of the pitch for them to win the penalty. If we had Rios against who was it? It was one of the yellow teams. I think it was Aroca. A foul would have been committed, and we would have won that game too. So we need a guy in there to commit the fouls. And Enzo Berenice is an upgrade on Florentino. It is what it is. He can do what Florentino does, and he's good on the ball, even if he's not as good on the defensive side without the ball. I thought Lige made a big mistake in waiting so long to get Florentino on. I would have done it differently, but Lige only trades profile for profile, so I would have brought Florentino on for Rios because it wasn't going for Rios that day. It was not his day. He'd been better in the previous three games. It wasn't working for him. And he was asking for a yellow card. He left him on. He ends up getting booked. He's eventually going to sit a game he's going to get to 5 yellows by like the 8th week of the season at this rate. Right?
Easily.
And Lige could have prevented that one. And I don't know. He just has no imagination. Again, I'm losing patience with Bruno Lage. Everything is so predictable. And everybody knows what moves he's going to make, what changes he's going to make. Everyone knew Prestiani was coming in for Sheldrup. It's always Sheldrup that comes out first. It's like guaranteed it's going to be whoever plays on the left side that comes out first. And we didn't see much from Dedic either in this game. He'd been better in the previous 3. In this game, he wasn't all that good. And for some reason, he was playing to the inside right channel with Auschwitz on the outside right channel, and it should have been the other way around because
that tandem is not working yet. But they got still. That's why I say it's still work in progress. Benfica.
Absolutely, it's really still preseason, even though these games are counting. There's still things to figure out, and there's still things that need to be tested. But I'm concerned about the 2 strikers. That's my biggest concern, and whether or not it's going to work in the long run, because we're giving up a guy in midfield in order to play with both of these strikers. And if they're not getting opportunity, I can't even blame them because they really had no opportunities. They really got no opportunities all game. One for Ivanovic, in which Renan made a good save, and that's it. That really was it. There was very little chances, and it's going to take time to figure out what the roles of each player is. But I think that midfield is missing a component, and it needs another guy in there to make the other two really play to their potential.
Mr. Ruano, let me ask you this: is Braga's been a sensation on the first couple of rounds, but do you think this Braga 2025-2026 edition is for real, or we gonna or not?
No, I think they're for real, and I think they're going to put up a big fight. It's not just a top 3 this year. I think they're really coming. They saw the top 3 spend money, so what they do, they spend money too. They're like, you know what? We got to stay in the race just the same way they are. They went out and got Paulo Vitor from Barcelona and everything, spent money. They broke their transfer record fee for that other, I think his name is Dorgilis, over there in the midfield. They knew, you know what? These guys are getting better. We still have to catch up to them for the type of quality of players they have. So they did the same thing. They went out and got some players. But not only that, they got a coach. We all talked about the coach last year. He's a one-trick pony. He can't last no more than 1 year with a team. Carvajal is just like that. He can only take you so far. And they finally went out and they got one of these assistant coaches over there from Man City. And they're like, listen, we think you're the guy that can elevate this team to where we want them to be. And I think he's going to do that. I think he's got a good idea going on with the team. I like how he's rotating the squad. He knows with Europe starting early, he knows this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. He wants to keep the guys in shape moving forward. He wants them to be cohesive, getting together with everything. And he's rotating the squad really good. I like that he's putting Salazar up top, not in the midfield. He knows he's a goal-scoring threat. He puts him up there with the forward. Yeah. And he's letting Horta create in the midfield and still giving him free range to do what he wants to do in that midfield with the 2 defensive middies behind him to cover him up. So I do like what he's doing, and I do feel like Braga is going to fight this year. They always listen, and Mikey knows this. Whenever they go there to Estádio da Luz, they smell blood in the water for some reason. Whenever they go there, they give Benfica hell. And
they've won there a number of times now.
Yeah, it's just the way that they are, and I feel like this year they know, and we talked about this. You got to get one of these top 2 spots. You need that money from the Champions League, and if Braga wants to get up there and be one of these top 3-4 teams in the league and keep always spending money or rotating the squad, they have to get one of those spots. It's unfortunate we don't have 3 spots anymore. But hopefully, Braga in Europe and Santa Clara, the Islanders, they keep winning in that conference league. Maybe we get that 3rd spot back. But for right now, I do think Braga's in it for the long run.
Mr. Gomez, Dragon Ball Z here is saying that it's an arm race. It's an arm race between Benfica, Porto, and Braga Sporting versus everybody. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I think it's the big 4 and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a wide disparity.
More than ever, right?
More than ever.
It's growing every year.
There's just a chasm between the top 4 and the rest of the league. I mean, this is just how I feel. I think you're gonna start seeing separation as the weeks go on and the points begin to add up.
It's gonna happen.
And I really do think this is gonna be a race between 4 teams. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Braga finishes in the top 3. It's just it's exciting because I feel it's really unpredictable. I don't think there's a presumptive favorite to win the title. So yeah, I just feel that there's a lot of things can happen. There are a lot of unknowns. I mean, again, I still think it's an outside chance, but I wouldn't be completely surprised to see Braga win the title. So I mean, it's an exciting year. And every game, every point is going to be of the utmost importance. So I mean, I totally agree with that statement. I really do think it's the big 4 and everybody else.
Absolutely. Now, I got a question about Gio and Geni, but I'm gonna go with Rui first because I wanted to ask him about this Porto blitz. Porto is blitzing teams now. Every time that they go into that transition, it's so fast, and they're adding 5-6 players on every attacking option. It's just brutal, man. This is so aggressive the way they're attacking now this year, huh?
Yeah, it seems like we're bringing back what we used to be. Like we're bringing that intensity. Even in this game, we committed a lot of fouls. Porto wasn't letting Gil Vicente as often getting through into their transitions or whatever. They made a lot of smart tactical fouls. But in these first two games, they've just really been applying the pressure. I think even as critical as Portistas have been on Gabri Veiga, because we assumed that he was going to bring a lot more on the attack. He's been defensively very well, but like we have Varela, we have Broholt, I forget how you say his name.
Yeah.
Sure. He was an absolute.
I got him, man.
There we go. He was an absolute tank in this game. Not aside from the goal, he was so good on every single duel on the ground, nearly every single duel on the ground, aerial and everything. And he was the one that committed the least amount of fouls on our side. He was very, very precise on his decision-making, winning the ball back, applying pressure and whatnot. And that's exactly what we needed. And having Eustáquio coming off the bench, being that third option to be that guy that can apply even more pressure later on in the game, can help close games out. So, not just in midfield, our wingers, Pepe has been just, I just love him where he is when he's on the outside, because when he flourished the most at Porto is when he was more on the outside, because he has that space, that shiftiness to get forward on attacks, to beat defenders, to whip crosses into the box. And also he just loves dropping back and applying pressure, somewhat like Otavio did when he was playing in that position. So this team is doing really well tactically on defense, on transitions defensively, and they're forcing a lot of turnovers that are leading to more positive possessions. So we're becoming a little bit even more dominantly present on the final third because of that. We're not letting teams just control the ball or get by us or anything as easily as we saw last year. So the press has been outstanding, and hopefully it just continues.
Hopefully so, man. Hopefully they keep going in that same rhythm, that same pace, and it's gonna be hard for Sporting to run away like they did last year. I think this year it's gonna be insanely close, man. It's gonna be insanely close. We're gonna go down to a wire. I'm talking about we're not seeing winning any team. Whoever wins this year, they're not gonna win in round 32. They're not gonna win in the last round. Round 34, I think that's when the title is going to be decided.
I can see three teams getting over 80 points. Yeah, it's going to be tight.
To answer David's question, that kid right there, I think he's like 19, 20 years old. He's really good. If they can get if that Gabriel Moscardo, if he can play and you can get him with Dorgelis in the middle, with Horta and Roger on the sides, with Paul Vitor and Salazar up top, I'm telling you, they got something going on over there.
I thought PSG only loaned senior citizens with injury problems. Bernat, Draxler, Renato Sanchez.
Right. Those guys.
Listen, they're trying to pump up the money on that kid. They're trying to get some more money in there.
No, it's smart.
Oh my God, Mikey, the left wing of your team this year. Now it's you got Samidol, which is not the same as why I'm forgetting the name. Sorry, what was your left back last year, man?
Carreras.
He
went to Real Madrid.
With me, man.
Started today.
So Carreras out, who was crucial for you, was so instrumental for BENFICA for the last couple of years, and now you got Samidol and you got this on top of left winger. Jesus, man, you're I think the ball is getting me to Schilderup, right? Schilderup, right? Yep. You got Schilderup, then you got Dole. It's you need to work a lot in that left wing for BENFICA.
Well, again, we got to wait until the transfer window closes, because if Arturoglu leaves, if he doesn't leave, he's probably going to be phased back into that spot. So, until this window closes, we don't know what we're going to have for a team. Anybody can leave at any moment. Anybody can come in at any moment. So it's really hard to predict right now. But yeah, I mean, Dahl is okay. He's not Carreras, and Carreras was not Carreras when he first came in either. So
Right.
it's
I'll give you
going
that.
to take some time. But he has different characteristics. He's not the same kind of left back, so it's going to take a little while to figure out exactly how the two of them are going to play together. Yeah, this team is really incomplete right now, and roles are really undefined. So I'm not so worried about the left side as much, but the lack of depth is really concerning right now. But at the same time, I really want to see, some of these guys get a chance. I want to see Prestiani get his minutes. I want to see João Rego come back in and get some minutes, and João Veloso. These guys played in the preseason, in the small preseason we had. They played in the Club World Cup. That we got to see glimpses of them. I want to see that continue. And listen, we've played 4 official games. Laj has started the same 11 in 3, and there's only one change because we didn't have Ivanovic yet for the Super Cup. Otherwise, it would have been the same 11 all 4 games, and he runs them as long as possible. I mean, he didn't make a substitution until the 70th minute. With the way that game was going, when a change, it was screaming for a change. He waited until the 70th minute, and it was the predictable Prestiani for like Prestiani for Sheldrop. And that doesn't even change your look. That doesn't even make Strela adjust at all. Okay, it's one for another, and we keep playing the same.
Yeah.
Enrique Araújo only comes in and stoppage times, and he gets more scoring opportunities than the 2 strikers that played almost 90 minutes each.
Tell me about it, because I just spent 30 mil on Pavlidis.
I understand, but
brother.
No, but I'm going to tell you, the reason is because he was playing up there by himself instead of trying to figure out what he was doing, sharing the space with somebody else. And then Prestiani made two nice passes. That's why Enrique Araújo got 2 opportunities. It's
we love Benfica to play with one on top and two wingers.
I don't think these strikers know how to play with 2 in the front. They're so similar.
I know.
Yeah.
If they're going to, I think they have to have better defined roles. One has to drop into the gap, and the other's got to stay more in the traditional number 9 position. They can't both be making runs out of the middle and leaving a big hole there. And of course, Stela and most teams we play are going to play with a back 5. It's a back 3 on paper, but it becomes a back 5, and then you have nobody to cross the ball to. And I don't even know that there were many crosses made all game. So how are you going to break down a defense like that? And Lige right now has no answers, no solutions. He just throws players out there and hopes that they solve it individually. And that's only going to work for so long.
So Mauricio, now in Braga's case, they don't have an issue at all in that left back position after acquiring Lelo from Casapia, right? And I was surprised that guys Calarasal stayed in Casapia this season too. I mean, the transfer window is going to close in the 31st. He might be end up leaving, I think, Larrazal, but I don't know. I would love to get Larrazal for any of your teams right here, guys. So what are you talking about this addition to Lelo to Braga, Mauricio?
Listen, Lelo's it's a huge addition. It was a position of need. Not even that. Didn't have to pay anything to Gazapia. Became on a free transfer because his contract had ended with Gazapia. So it was pretty much them just, hey, we needed this guy. He's a steady guy in the league. He's, besides Carreras and Maxi on that left side, Lelo was up there, top 5 probably in the Portuguese league at that left back position. He can go left back, left wing. He can do them both. He's pretty creative and everything and always brings scoring chances. So it was a huge deal for them because now it gives them another threat to go with Horta, Salazar, especially now that they get Roger back. It's just another person that can just run the wings with those guys. And he's just a steady guy to have. So I was surprised other teams didn't pick him off. I'm surprised teams didn't pick off a lot of guys. I'm surprised Clayton is still at Rio Ave. I think he's a good guy that does. I think he's better. A good forward to be on that team. He scored again this past weekend.
Yeah, he's a gifted player.
Yeah, he just finds the net. So there's some guys out there I was surprised that didn't, other teams look at. But yeah, I like that pickup for Lelo. Just like with everything else Braga did this offseason. I really like what they did.
I got the question for Derek about Geni and Gio, but I want to get this one first from Rui. Is Bednarek the best signing of the season for you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. He's been a rock back there. He's just like, what a difference. And it could be Farioli's tactics or whatever, but I think just his experience being in the Premier League for so long. He's a physical guy. He's been in the best league in the world for so many years. He just has that understanding, and he's just going to bring that into the Portuguese league. Was he a great defender in the EPL standards? No, compared to all the other guys, but here he can really make a name for himself and make a huge impact. And in these 2 games, he hasn't really made any mistakes. Just really polished, really consistent. And I just feel that like every championship team over the years, Sporting with Coates, Benfica with Otamendi, Porto with Pep, they had that experienced leader, killer, physical guy that's just willing to do whatever it takes to win and just rally the troops around. And hopefully that's what he's going to bring. And you see it right now that in these 2 games, he's just been so polished, really mature. And a lot of the younger players can just look up to that. The defense can rely on someone that is going to be consistent, that's going to make the right decisions, and is going to make plays. So a lot of players will feed off of that. And if Porto does win, he's going to have a huge part in that as well.
You're right. And you know what's impressed me the most is like the guy doesn't break a sweat, man. He runs 90 minutes and he's this like nothing, because his timing he's 1 or 2 seconds ahead of everyone else. So he doesn't have to chase people. He knows where they're going, and he anticipates every single move almost from the opponents, man.
Yeah, and we might sign another Polish center back, that young kid, Jan Kielwari, or
from Arsenal.
Oh, really?
From Arsenal, yeah.
Yes.
And he's a young prospect, 19 years old or 20 years old.
Yeah.
And we can add another guy like that. The Polish, man, they're just
the Polish.
They've never really had the most talented national team, but man, they were always just so physical. And I think we need to see a lot of more of these like Danish players, these Polish players in the Portuguese league, and I think we are going to see it.
That's where we're going, Sean.
Massive influx,
Scandinavia.
Yeah, and it's not like South America will always be there in the Portuguese league, but I like to see that we're bringing these different types of players that offer a different style of play, a different aggression. It's going to be great.
That's where the value is right now, is up there.
Really? Yeah.
South American players are getting so expensive. It's getting
it is.
Compete for them.
And they're going to the MLS too. They're not even coming here. A lot of them are going to the MLS.
That's what's driven the cost up, is because the MLS has the money to sign these guys.
Yeah. So we're gonna see a lot of Vikings, man. More Vikings coming into
I like that. Let's go.
Yeah, I could see it.
I like it. Mr. Gomez, Gomez, got a question for you, brother. This I know during preseason they gave the number 7 jersey to Gio, the number 10 jersey to Geni, and I'm just sending a message that this guy's gonna stay here for a long time. Hopefully, and hopefully not that long for Gio. I think Gio's got
no, he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
But,
he's on loan. He's on loan this year.
He's only here for 1 year.
That was only 1 year. Okay, did you see?
Yeah. He's right now. He doesn't really belong to Sporting. He's on loan from Chelsea.
Yeah,
on loan from Chelsea. Oh.
He's on loan from Chelsea.
But Chelsea got long players all over the planet, or even in Mars, man. They play in this Mars league, and they got Chelsea players playing.
Financial fair play.
There's Chelsea players everywhere.
I know. Even here, brother, in Peru. But anyway, my question was, are we going to see this at one point? I think Borges will try this. I think at one point, depending on the game, depending on the opponent, that he's going to use both Gio and Geni on the wings. Now, knowing now that they got Pochi on the left wing, he's the main man in there. But I think that we're going to see games with Geni and Gio. Do you see starting these two at the same time, one on the right and one on the left?
I think he'll only do it out of necessity. If Port or Trincão are missing,
right?
Yeah,
Right.
I don't think
that's
he's
the only
gonna-
way that
I-
you see
I
both
can't-
playing.
I can't see him doing it by design. I mean, again, if one of them are missing for whatever reason, injury, suspension, then you might see that. Because right now, I don't think we have that much depth at the wings. I think that that is an area that needs to be addressed, and they've been talking about it now. There's the new novel now is novella, whatever you want to call it, is with the player from Deportivo. Who price? Yeah, Yedeme. I guess the price is super high. They're looking at 30 million. And then the whole Jota Silva thing is continuing to just drag on here.
Give me another Richie Mangas for 300K, brother.
Yeah, that's a hell of a deal. Hell of a deal to have a guy like that. He's
and
Joker's
athletic,
get the way he gets up and down the pitch. But yeah, I mean, I do think that is going to be addressed. I think at least we'll get another winger. Probably Jota, because it looks like Nottingham Forest are starting to bring in a lot of players, and that's going to free him up. But yeah, we do need depth at the wings, and I do think the only way that those two will play at the same time will be out of necessity. Unfortunately,
it's not there now.
Not there now. You have to. I mean, look, especially if you look at the case of Kenda. There's two versions of Kenda. There was Kenda under Ruben, and there's Kenda after Ruben. And I think that the transfer was earned to Chelsea because of what he did under Ruben. I think in the 3-4-3 system, him playing back as a wing back exploited his strength, him getting behind the ball and going forward. Since Ruben left, Rui Borges has exclusively employed him as a winger up top, and he hasn't produced as much as he did, prior to the change in his position. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. So again, I think Kenda is a great talent. I just think right now, he's being misused. In my humble opinion. Even in the match, this last match here against Estoril, it was a 1-for-1 switch. It was Gio for Jenny. And I just noted how many times he instinctually dropped back to get the ball. So it's sort of like it's in his DNA for him to play back, where it's Rui Borges is trying to force him, to play up. Even when he came in, he gave Fresneda the spot, the right wing back, even when they went back to a 3-4-3. And on the left side, it was Maxi Rojo. So every time you saw Gio, he was up top, and he wasn't as productive as he was in the system, playing, for Ruben Amorim. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I do think this whole Chelsea transfer is also looming. We know that he's not going to be here next year. I think that's the way Borges is thinking too, that this guy's only going to be with us for the rest of the season.
Wait for the whole season.
Yeah, but he wants to invest in the guys that are going to be here next
year. He wants to invest in guys that are going to be there long term.
That belongs to him, exactly.
But I mean, again, it's just you can look at the numbers, look at the stats, just look at these games. What Gio was doing when Ruben was the coach and what he's done after Ruben. And again, I don't think it's the player's fault. I do think it's the coaching and how he's being used.
You finish Jota, he's not going to get any minutes. I mean,
they are going to bring in another winger, and that's also going to impact minutes. So yeah, it's kind of sad because
I know
he showed tremendous potential. That he really could be one of a top player, a guy that's going to play for the national team and be a key contributor. And it's sort of been wasted, in my opinion. It's sad. He obviously prefers Jenny over him. So again, hang in there. I think we are going to see some great moments from him, but
you can't do anything about the taste.
Yeah, you're not going to see the Kenda that we saw when Ruben was the coach. That's just my opinion. I might be wrong.
Derek, that's the downside of making those kinds of deals where you sell a guy and then you take him back on loan.
You keep him.
You bet. Yeah. We've seen it in the past.
Yeah,
we saw in the past. I was supporting guys on loan. They just gave up on them. So.
Now, Mikey, you play for a match tomorrow in
Istanbul.
Istanbul.
Hell, Well, it's hell, brother. Man,
Yeah, hell on
that's
earth.
insane.
Yeah.
I love those games. I love
Yeah.
those games in Istanbul, man. It's just
Yeah.
so. I mean, I feel like I'm in South America, brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it feels like that. So you're playing that in Istanbul, and then you're going back to to Stade de Luz,
Yeah.
play Tondela.
Mhm.
Do you see this team, you know, after tomorrow, because tomorrow is gonna be
Yeah.
brutal. It's gonna be an insane battle tomorrow. Bringing that Champions League energy into the Sunday's game in front of the home fans. Do you
Yeah.
see that, or you see a downside because it's Tondela? It's not.
Um, yes and no. I mean, it all depends how tomorrow goes. I mean, it's what kind of
Yeah.
mental state they come back in, and if things go well, and if he, uses a little common sense and refreshes the team a little bit, rotates a few players, I think you'll see more energy. If he rolls out the same 11 again, they're going to be dead. I mean, there's going to be players that are going to be dragging, but I mean, I think he's going to run with the same 11 until somebody gets hurt, to be honest. It seems to be Bruno Lage's way to go, or at least from now until the international break, and then maybe make an adjustment then when the window's closed. But I do think we might see Artur tomorrow because he's already cup tied. He can't play. If he goes to Fenerbahce, he can't play for them in the Champions League. I think if he eliminates Fenerbahce and they drop to the Europa League, he could play for them in the Europa League. So he could even maybe play well and really convince them to put the money up for him. He's caught in a really tough spot right now. That deal was reported as done. He agreed to terms with Fenerbahce, but then Fenerbahce, lowered the price when he became cup tied. Again, another brilliant move by Bruno Lage. Whether you want to keep the player or not, to completely, cut his value by a third by putting him in garbage time minutes in a Champions League qualifier to cup tie him was, not the. If that's what he was doing, that was not the smartest decision. But if he plays tomorrow, maybe he gets some minutes, and then Sheldrop comes back on Saturday and has a spot back, and he's a little bit fresher. Could be. Tomasz Araújo's just about ready to come in, and now here's the thing: if he comes in, okay, I would like to see, and Bruno Lage won't do this, but I'd like to see those three center backs start to rotate a little bit, because as much as I love Otamendi, when you have Otamendi, you can't press as high. He doesn't have the pace. If the ball gets in behind him, he doesn't have the pace, and neither does Antonio Silva. If Tomasz Araújo is in there instead of one of them, he does have the pace, and now you can press a little bit higher, and I think then Benfica can win the ball a little higher, and create more chances, especially playing at home on Sunday. But they have to win. Right now, they're still gaining form, still gaining rhythm, still gaining fitness, but the bottom line is got to keep accumulating points, can't fall behind. So got to find a way to put the ball in the back of the net and to continue to not concede. Truman was big on Saturday. He made saves when he had to. That is what it is to be the goalkeeper for a big team. You're only going to be called upon once or twice, 3 times at the most, and you have to be on your best foot at those times. Although he made a mess of that one free kick that he just parried right out to Godoy, who fortunately would have been offside anyway. He was offside by a hair anyway. But he put that perfectly for him to put the rebound away. I don't know why he didn't just punch it the way Odisei is used to, but he just left. But aside from that, he made a great save. I think it was on Fabio Ronaldo, the one he went and got up in the top corner. And it was still 0-0 at that time. It would have been a completely different game. So, but if you need to continue to not concede, and they got to find a way to put the ball, in the goal. And I think at home, if they can get they're one team. Benfica's one team when they score early and they get the lead, like you saw against Nice, and they're another team when that goal doesn't arrive and the other team, continues to gain confidence, continues to stay organized, continues to predict well what Benfica are going to do. Benfica run out of ideas. They've got to get on the board early. And hopefully they come out with more urgency against Tondela. I think the urgency was really, really lacking against Strela. They were overly patient, just expecting the goal to come. And I think there needs to be an urgency. Auschwitz had the chance of the game. And if you look at that, he actually, I think, was passing it to the striker instead of shooting it at goal. When that came across the face of goal, he didn't put his laces into it. He hit it with his instep as if he was passing it back to the 2 strikers. I don't like to see that kind of passiveness inside the box. I want that shot going on frame. That's how you score goals, and got to find the back of the net. That's it. That got to find goals and got to find the passing lanes and get more rhythm and get between the lines and stretch these teams when they pack it in. If you allow them to stay in their shape, it's that much harder to get through.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now you got English view on Porto. Look at that. Look
Hey,
at
I've been on that show.
That's my brother. It's 3 a.m. in England
I know
now.
it is.
He's
I
watching
love
us,
it.
brother.
He's dedicated.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for tuning in to at this time on your hometown. Now, of course, great timing because I'm gonna talk now to Lord Commander here about the Portistas. Rui, so Casapia lost to Sport in the first round. They bounced back against ABS in the second round. Now they're going to Dragao. And speaking of finding the back of the net, Patrick Sequeira is on pace to be one of the top goalkeepers in the Primera Liga. Now, do you see this Porto side like bypassing and looking over to the Clásico in a couple of weeks, or do you see this team full focus with game by game before the first Clásico of the season?
A little bit of both, but you definitely focus on the game that's coming first. But Porto's definitely hoping to keep the momentum going, keep getting every win until the game against Sporting, and then a couple of weeks later, it's against Benfica. I think that's right before the international break. So we're gonna have to be focused in this game and get a lot of shots in, get an early goal, and get this goalkeeper off his rhythm. Because how many times have we seen all of our teams play against the smaller team and their goalie is just out of this world?
I know,
they turn into like prime Manuel Neuer against us, right?
I mean, he was the
it like always happens. So I'm not liking it, but yeah, it's happened so many times in the past to all of us. So it's something that you can't. I know it's an 11-man. It's a team game and everything, but a goalkeeper on his day can really just bail a team out, and we've seen it so many times. So Porto's got to be sharp. They have to dominate on every aspect. They have to go in, fulfill their objectives, go in with the right strategy and approach, and just do your job. Win every battle in the midfield. Create turnovers. Don't let the other team have their spotlight to get through or anything. Just keep going forward and get so many shots off as possible. Get goals in early on. Throw the goalkeeper off. Deflate the team on top of it, and then it's 3 points right there. So hopefully it's not one of those games where we're going to be clawing the entire 90 minutes and hope for a late winner or settle for a draw because the goalkeeper's insane. You have to come out strong. Keep doing what they're doing. So hopefully Rodrigo Moura is on the pitch in this game. I think we need that spark from him for the full 90 minutes.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully we get to see that kid, man. I really when he enters the pitch, you hear me, guys. When he enters, I'm just going cuckoo, man. When that guy plays, man. But Matt,
it's a magician.
He almost scored that beautiful goal, man. He almost scored that goal, man. He was gonna be.
It was right off the rip when he came on the field. He made like 2 insane plays. And then he had that opportunity to score right at the end that he missed because it was his weak foot. And it was a tough angle too, but that would have cost him if he scored that. For like whatever the reason is that he's not playing or starting, like that would have been the reason to start this kid. If he's leaving, he leaves. Help us secure the 3 points.
Please, man, please. Now, as Matt's saying, pretty much a perfect start on the Faioli. But Rui, I know nothing is perfect, but what do you like to see improving moving forward for your team? I know that they're doing great, but what do you like to see doing better for your team?
I would like us to get a left back before the transfer window closes. It's so many years
from the get-go, man. You never like Said, man.
Listen, no. I will go to Café Santiago in Porto and have a francesinha with that guy any day of the week. I'll smash Superbox with him. He's a great guy, and I love him for what he did against Benfica. No offense, Mike. No offense.
All
When
right.
he scored that goal to win the championship, I will always love that guy. I love him. I do love him, but he is horrible to watch sometimes. He got an assist in this game, but we need to do more. We need to have better on the left side. And Zinchenko's actually an option also from Arsenal, right? Yeah. Ukrainian kid.
Yeah.
He's still at Arsenal, right? Yeah.
Former Man City. Yeah.
I think he's going to Fenerbahce.
Previously Man City. So he's going
Everybody's
to
at Fenerbahce.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to get another left back. I would like to see a little bit more out of Gabri Vega because there was a lot of hype, and I do like him. I think he's a wonderful talent. But Rodrigo Mora's got to come in for Borja Sainz. He has to. Sainz is also a good player too, but he's just not doing it right now. The first 2 games he hasn't been that great. So I would like to see Mota in there on the left side. And I'll pretty much keep the rest. Alberto Costa has been sensational. Our center backs have been really good too. So the rest I would keep. And then it's unfortunate Samu is going to be injured. So that's another thing to worry about. Like Luke de Jong is
what's the injury now? Anybody knows? Because I didn't follow the.
He has a slight muscle tear. I think it's in his groin.
They're saying 3 weeks.
That's 3.
Yeah, so he might be out. He might be out for the Sporting game.
He won't play against Sporting.
Sporting game, huh? Ooh.
And he might miss the Benfica. No, he might be back for the Benfica game.
That's October.
Who knows?
5th. Benfica.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, we got a month. He'll probably be back for that.
Yeah.
Oh, when is the Clásico? When is the O Clásico? When is that? Anybody
October
know?
4th or 5th?
Wow.
4th or 5th.
Porto have Sporting before the
Lisbon
September
is in
break, and
December.
then
I know
Benfica
that.
before the October break.
Yeah.
Right?
They'll be here before you know it.
Mm-hmm.
The Lisbon Derby in December.
We'll be
That's always the last one.
break
The Lisbon
before you
Derby's
know it.
Yeah, so it'll be at the Dragão, which, with all these games that Benfica are playing, early on for the Champions League, and it's right before the international break, the break that they probably are going to need.
And it's probably right after a Champions League game, too. There's probably Champions League the week before.
Yeah, that's right. So hopefully that happens and we just get every advantage possible and just get 3 points against them. Hopefully that's what it is. But who knows if this Farioli train is going to continue, because it's still a lot of time for us to fall apart if it does happen. But the way that we're going and the way that he's managing the club, it's pretty good. So hopefully it continues for us. One game at a time. We can't just focus on the Clásicos.
No, we can't.
Worried about Casablanca.
You can't help it in a couple of weeks. The first one.
And you know what? This might be the season where I'm looking forward to playing against Estoril. I really am, because I actually want to beat them more than Benfica and Sporting this year.
I know, we know that. I want to get me an Estoril jersey.
Yeah.
Just for the heck of it. Thank you, guys. We crossed the 60-minute mark here on Tuga Tuesdays.
I got to say one thing, Nino. You said something I have to respond to. You made a prediction that I did not like.
Wow.
You predicted that Rui Costa is going to win the presidency, and that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
And it's not going to happen because his biggest ally entered the race today to take all his votes. So he is definitely not going to win.
I know.
Neither one of those guys need to win. I need to say right here that both of them need to lose and need to get out of the club once and for all, forever. Rui Costa has ruined his name. Nobody
want Roy to win.
Listen, Rui Costa is no longer a former legend. He's nobody to this club. He's a bad president, and that's all we're ever going to see him as going forward.
Damn.
Sayonara.
Oh, wow.
Damn. Man, that was dropping bombs, Mikey, brother. Come on,
and I know you got this. I know your inbox filled with the same exact message from a lot of people.
That is one.
I was in Miami.
That is one colorful breakup story right there.
In Miami, okay, Rui Costa was nowhere to be seen at the Club World Cup. He couldn't be bothered. Okay.
You heard that, Rui Costa?
João Noronha Lopes shows up in Miami, and even the Boca fans were mobbing him. Okay.
What?
He was mobbed in Miami. This guy, and he's one of 2 candidates. Okay. There's 2 people. One of them I hope wins. There's 2 I like. There's 2 that mostly everyone I talk to likes. Okay. He's one of them. But I'm telling you, he showed up in Miami. He put out a quick information. He says, I'm going to be at this place at 7 o'clock tomorrow. The place filled up. And, of course, the Boca fans saw the Benfica fans, and they came on, and we were singing songs together. It was a beautiful thing. So, yeah, anybody but Rui Costa and anybody but Luis Felipe Vieira. 2025, October 25, out Tubru. Get out of here.
There you go. There you go. That popping bombs, Mike D'Agostino here on Tuga Tuesdays.
I couldn't let the show end without saying that.
Mauricio Ruano, Derek Gomez, and Nino Torres are saying goodbye until next Tuesday. We're going to keep talking about Liga Portugal throughout the season, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Good night, guys.